Welcome to Registered Community Organizations, Part 2, Processes, a follow-up to Introduction to RCOs, part of the Philadelphia City Planning Commission's Learning Series. In Introduction to RCOs video, we talked about the basic role and responsibilities of RCOs. In this video, you'll learn about the following: notification process for RCOs, coordinating RCOs, RCO meetings, ZBA hearings. Notification. For RCOs, that means the process of getting notified by the city and the developer about certain types of projects that require an additional review. The developer has to provide notice to the RCOs and also everyone who lives near or owns property near a project. Not all development projects require notification to the community. About 3 out of 4 proposed development projects match what the zoning of the property allows. That's called by right development. Ideally, by right development reflects what the community supports, so no letters need to go out notifying neighbors and there's no requirement for a public meeting. However, some developers will meet with the community anyway because they want to be good neighbors. To understand why and how notification does happen, let's revisit Pamela, Nadia, and Maurice's development projects. You met them in Introduction to RCOs. Each of them needed to get a zoning permit before they could go ahead with their projects. Where did they go to get a permit? Developers of all projects first go to the Department of Licenses and Inspections, or L&I. L&I is the front door to any construction project in the city. This office issues permits and licenses and provides certain kinds of inspections, all to ensure public safety. Their projects were not approved for permits because the projects did not meet the zoning code requirements. L&I gave them each a refusal, which shows why their application was not approved. Each of them can change their project so it meets the code requirements and is by right, or they can appeal this decision within 30 days and present their case to the next decision maker, the ZBA. Pamela, Nadia, and Maurice decide to appeal this decision to the ZBA. The Zoning Board of Adjustment is a quasi-judicial body, which means it's not a court, but can interpret legal decisions. The ZBA holds public hearings where the decision can be made to allow the applicant to not have to comply with the law in order to develop their property. Filing an appeal means the developer will get an assigned hearing date to make their case at the ZBA. This is when public notification requirements kick in, so RCOs can schedule a community meeting before the developer goes to the ZBA. Pamela, Nadia, and Maurice will each then get information about community notification. The ZBA sends them orange posters that must be displayed on the site of their project and near the sidewalk at eye level. They also need to notify near neighbors or occupants of affected properties before they can meet with the RCO. Affected properties are those located within 250 feet of the project's property lines and on the same block. The written notice includes information about the RCO public meeting. It's their responsibility to contact the affected registered community organizations about setting up a meeting. The public meeting is hosted by the RCO and gives the developer an opportunity to talk about their proposed project. If there is more than one RCO whose boundaries overlap the development project, the district council person's office will select one RCO as the coordinating RCO. The coordinating RCO hosts the meeting, communicates with the developer, and invites the other RCOs to attend. There are over 260 RCOs in the city of Philadelphia. In many parts of the city, the boundaries of several RCOs could overlap. The RCO selected to coordinate the meeting has no bigger voice than any other RCO. All RCOs are invited to attend the meeting and to submit their own position letter to the ZBA. For Pamela, Nadia, and Maurice, there is only one RCO whose boundaries include their projects, Pickle Town United, or PTU. PTU has received notification from the city, the name of the developer, the reasons the project did not receive a permit, a meeting template to help them record the results of the meeting, and the list of addresses of the properties located within 250 feet of the project. If there were other RCOs whose boundaries overlapped their projects, they would also be listed. Pickletown United has to set up a meeting within 45 days of when the appeal was filed. The orange notice signs show the appeal date and the date of the ZBA hearing. The developers are required to attend one RCO meeting before they can appeal their case to the ZBA. The RCO meeting date is included in the notification letters to near neighbors. Pickletown United has regularly scheduled monthly meetings. They add Pamela, Nadia, and Maurice's cases to their agenda for the next meeting and post the agenda on their website and Facebook site. The meeting also needs to be open to the public. The contact person for PTU lets the developers know what materials they need to submit in advance of the meeting or to bring to the meeting. PTU has chosen to hold their meeting online. They've sent out the link to their membership and posted the link with information on how the meeting will be run on their website. PTU receives a meeting summary form template to help them record the proceeds of the meeting for each individual project. The summary shows support, oppose, or non-opposition for the project. If there was a vote, the numbers are also shown here. Taking a vote at the meeting is not required. PTU will attach a letter explaining the RCO's position. Both of these go to the ZBA, the District Council Office, and the Planning Commission before the hearing. If there is more than one affected RCO, each RCO can submit its own testimony. For Nadia's project, where she wanted to build a third floor on top of her house, her addition exceeded the zoning height limit by 3 feet. In the meeting discussion, the near neighbors opposed the design and recommended that she reduce the height to meet the code. Nadia could change her design, or she can proceed to the ZBA with her existing design. Pickletown United records the decision and votes for each appeal project on their website so the community can see what happened at the meeting. They send the results and a letter explaining their position to the ZBA. The developer should let the RCO know when the ZBA hearing will be held, but anyone can also search for zoning appeals going to ZBA. Go to this website address or go to phila.gov and search for zoning appeals. You can filter the results by council district, planning district, or by the name of your RCO. The list shows the appeal number and address for the project, along with the date and the time of the hearing. At the hearing, the developer or applicant will first provide testimony about their project. Then anyone who wants to speak will be called on. The board will have your RCO letter and meeting summary, but if you or your organization feels strongly in your opposition or support of a particular project, you can testify in person. Anyone can testify. If you are one of many in your group who want to speak, you should work out in advance what each person will say. Your testimony is more effective if it is concise, to the point, clear, and doesn't repeat what others have said. Be sure you speak about only the zoning or notification issues for the project. After the ZBA board hears an individual case from the applicant and anyone who wants to testify, they will make an official ruling on whether to give the applicant permission to proceed or approve or deny the appeal. They may also approve the appeal with provisos or additional conditions for support of the project, such as limiting a proposed 6-foot-high fence to 4 feet or prohibiting a roof deck where one's proposed. The ZBA can decide to continue the case so it will be held later or dismiss the appeal. In this video, you learned about the notification process for RCOs. about coordinating RCOs, how RCO meetings are held, and what happens at a ZBA hearing. Learn what happens to Pamela, Nadia, and Maurice's projects in future videos. Thank you for watching this presentation on RCOs and the development process. If you're not interested in becoming part of an RCO, but do want to get more involved with development in your community, other videos from city planning will explain how.